Well, the official complaint filed on April 10th by Inyo County District Attorney Art Millay against Don D. Rossi and Kenneth Rossi of Bishop lists 44 criminal counts and reveals that the Rossis allegedly used others' identities to get welfare benefits with the use of what's known as electronic benefit transfer, or EBT cards, to get cash. The complaint says crimes went on between June of 2005 and the end of January 2013. Bennett Kessler filed this story and was on scene last Friday when the Rossis were in Superior Court in Bishop. Now, the complaint alleges that for 8 years, the Rossis engaged in numerous crimes. The story that unfolds through the list of criminal counts alleges that from her position as Inyo Social Services Supervisor, Don D. Rossi conspired with her husband to use the personal identifying information of 35 individuals to obtain welfare benefits for themselves. Now, the complaint also reveals that the couple allegedly obtained electronic benefit transfer cards for their personal use. The DA alleges that the pair embezzled $1.565 million in total. Other informed sources said that the Rossis used the EBT cards at bank ATMs to get cash. Now, the 13-page complaint lists 44 counts, including grand theft by embezzlement, embezzlement of public funds, grand theft of personal property, misappropriation of public funds by a public officer, welfare fraud, conspiracy to commit grand theft, conspiracy to commit theft of public money, conspiracy to commit welfare fraud, conspiracy to commit identity theft, 31 counts of identity theft, 3 counts of obtaining money by false pretenses, and possession of a controlled substance. That substance was listed as methamphetamine. Now, Don D. and Kenneth Rossi again appeared in Superior Court in Bishop on Friday, where their arraignment was reportedly continued until Tuesday to allow the probation department to conduct a bail study. Currently, the couple remain in the Inyo County Jail in Independence under $500,000 bail each. On Friday, they walked into the courtroom in a line of defendants dressed in jail black and white striped suits in handcuffs and leg chains. The Rossis kept their heads down with somber expressions. Well, Bennett Kessler also filed this report. Last week, Mammoth Mountain CEO Rusty Gregory came to the Mono Supervisors meeting in Bridgeport. He put out his plan to reopen June Mountain, add snowmaking, and a new Chair 1. Now, citizens questioned him, and he talked for 3 hours. Now, this week, the Mono County Board of Supervisors has placed June Mountain on the agenda again, but only for new information. It is the last item on the agenda. Supervisor Tim Alpers, who represents June Lake, told the group last week that, quote, trust has to be built step by step, end quote. Alpers said the June Mountain Action Plan needs fair and thorough hearings with no backdoor deals. He said after this week's agenda item on June Mountain, he intends to, quote, take all the information and come back to the board with recommendations on a policy level, end quote. Now, last week, Supervisor Larry Johnston said Rusty Gregory's 3-point plan was, quote, close to a home run, end quote. Supervisor Tim Fesco called it a great opportunity and said the community has to determine what it wants. Said Fesco, we're here to help, but not necessarily with money. Now, Supervisor Fred Stump had said that he was less skeptical than before. He told Rusty Gregory he would like to see his list of maintenance and improvements. Supervisor Bing Hunt had said that the trust will have to build and that June Lake, quote, is an economic driver for the county, end quote. Now, in other Mono County business, on Tuesday, the board planned to consider approval of a 2-year contract with Inyo Auditor Leslie Chapman, and that's to serve as Mono Director of Finance. Cost for a full year is $214,237. About $139,000 is salary, and nearly $75,000 goes for retirement and other benefits. Now, the board will consider sending comments in on the Merced Wild and Scenic River Plan and EIS. That plan could remove some popular features in Yosemite National Park, but would also add new ones. The Mono board planned to address additional trout stocking by Inland Aquaculture Group before the opening of fishing season. Now, that item would cost just over $19,000, which is available in fish enhancement funds. Well, Bennett Kessler also filed this report. Eager to push their latest Owens Dry Lake plan, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power will send their Water Operations Director Martin Adams back to the Inyo County Board of Supervisors meeting on Tuesday. Now, put simply, that plan could accelerate past the Owens Dry Lake Planning Group, would seek to eliminate any more dust controls at the lake bed, and could put more water into the aqueduct. Adams presented the plan to the Inyo supervisors on April 2nd and promised to come back in 2 weeks. Now, Adams has also promised that DWP will take steps to protect bird habitat under a dry lake master plan, but only if LA can quit spending money on dust controls. Supervisors pointed out to Adams that they have no jurisdiction when it comes to dust abatement at the dry lake. They also pointed to the Owens Lake Master Plan Committee of dozens of agencies that have spent a couple of years on a plan for that area and need to be part of the process. Now, Adams and DWP have not let those issues stop their new agenda. Adams planned to talk to the Inyo Board of Supervisors at 9:30 a.m. Tuesday about the DWP plan, even though the supervisors do not have the power to approve it. Adams is apparently seeking political sway from the board. Now, 2 of its members sit on the APCD board. Now, all of this is happening against the backdrop of a major lawsuit filed by LADWP to try to eliminate their dust control responsibilities at the dry lake. Now, individual supervisors have said that they want some confirmation that if water is saved at the lake bed, it will stay in the Owens Valley for ranchers and other uses. Sources from within the Owens Lake Master Plan Group say Adams and other DWP officials have made it clear in the past that saved water will go down the aqueduct, not stay in the Owens Valley. Air Pollution Control Director Ted Shady has said that whatever activity DWP engages in, they must comply with, quote, local, state, and federal air quality requirements, end quote. Now, after Adams had earlier revealed his new dry lake plan, Shady said, quote, the master plan process or any project does not supersede the Great Basin requirements over air pollution, end quote. We'll be back with more news.